Selective laser sintering is becoming an increasingly important tool for batch production. But making the workflow efficient from printing to post-processing remains a challenge for many companies. I recently had the chance to test Raise3D's RMS220 SLS system, which was introduced a few months ago. Here at TCT Asia 2026, the company is presenting the complete ecosystem around that machine, from powder handling to post-processing. To understand the thinking behind the RMS220 and how it fits into real production workflows, I spoke with Zhewen Ma, Raise3D's SLS Product Manager. Hey Zhewen, pleasure to meet you and nice talking to you. Raise3D made quite an impact when announcing the RMS220. What were the main challenges you wanted to address when designing this system?
I started to get in touch with SLS since 2016. Back to that time, I found this technology to be extremely amazing. It also prints crazy parts. However, the machines are very huge, expensive, and the skill level requirements for people are very high. So I remember that I spent 1 week at the machine manufacturer to get trained before I actually start my first print. The goal is very clear. We are going to make a machine that is very fast, very productive, and also easy to use, compact, and also it is very affordable.
And obviously I saw when I tested the RMS220 that you have a very fast scanning speed, high power laser, removable build unit. How would you say all of this contributes to improving throughput and reducing the cost per part?
Yeah. So I think we can talk about it in 3 ways. So first of all, the machine needs to be fast. By fast, we're talking about the scanning speed. It needs to be pushed to the maximum. So we have a very high-speed galvo system, which can scan at 30,000 millimeters per second. And together with a 75 watts laser, so then we can have a very high productivity. So secondly, we have a removable build unit. So which means that after each print, we can pull our build unit out and push another new one in. So then we can make the part cake cool outside without keeping the printer waiting. And the third one is that we're trying to reduce all the downtime of the printer by minimizing the manual operation time.
Obviously, you've talked a lot about throughput and how you improve the throughput, and I think it's very clear that the system here is optimized for it, but it's also very important to have a good material portfolio in SLS. This is one of the main concerns for people getting into SLS. So how would you say that Raise3D approach material compatibility, but also recyclability?
Some materials are easy to use, some are not. So we are trying to address all these difficulties of powders inside SLS systems. First of all, the flowability of the powder itself, like TPUs, they are very difficult to flow. So in the hopper feeding system, sometimes they will just get stuck and creating an arc inside or bridging inside the hopper. So we have optimized our design of the hopper by the geometries and the surface finishing, and also we have a positive agitating system inside. So that's how we can make the TPU flow properly and feed onto our powder bed. And also about the aging of the powders. Some materials are very sensitive to oxidations, and then if the material is oxidized, the color might change, or the mechanical properties drop. We have our integrated nitrogen system, nitrogen generator in the printer. We allow our users to have a seamless experience because you just need to plug the compressed air in, and that's it. So all the standard materials are able to print properly without aging. And also another part is about switching between one material to another. Our machine is designed to be, first of all, the purging of the material is very easy. So you can have a container and attach to the printer, open the valve, then all the powders inside the hoppers can be released at once.
And when I tested the RMS220, you might remember that I was using the manual cleaning station where I had to brush the prints. And obviously that takes a while, it can take a while. And I was happy to see that here at TCT Asia 2026, you're showcasing this new sandblasting machine, which makes post-processing easier. Can you talk a bit more about this and how it makes post-processing easier?
So as we all know that sandblasting is the must-have step for SLS process because you need to get the parts clean without any powders on the surface. So traditionally when people are using a manual sandblaster, it is very time consuming and it's not really good for people's health. For example, your back. For me, every time after 1 hour of blasting, my back hurts a lot. So with this new automatic sandblasters, you can just put all the parts in, press start, done. The machine will do all the cleaning for you.
Well, here I'm going to have to ask the hard question, and you'll have to take a crystal ball to try to predict the future of SLS 3D printing. Where do you see that?
In the far future, or maybe we will see it soon. So the people, our user just only need to touch the screen, hands in the pocket, and all the works are done by the machine itself. I think that will happen one day. So that is one thing. And secondly, we already observed that there are some trends in the market that have very specific need for the materials and also the machines. For example, the cold metal fusion is now a very hot topic in the market, even in Asia. So we found that the metal powders are having very different properties comparing to the polymer powders. So we need to optimize or customize the machine, some of the hardware, some of the software to meet the requirement of cold metal fusions. And I think the third one is that we are also expanding our own material portfolio, functional materials, reinforced material, higher temperature material, etc.
Affordability is important to get more people to use 3D printing. And when I say affordability, it's obviously not just the financial cost, the cost of acquisition and the cost of running the prints, but it's also making the printers easy to use and integrating them into an easy to use workflow. And as you said, potentially just having to click on a few buttons on the machine, not having to rely on multiple devices to control that.
Yes, so that's correct. So at the end, we are talking about total cost of ownership. It's not only about the price of the machine itself, it's a machine cost, material cost, labor cost, and also other costs like your facilities, electricities, etc. So all these costs need to be lowered.
It was very interesting talking with you today. Thank you very much for catching us up, especially having tested the RMS220 a few months ago. It's nice to see what direction you're going in and seeing that new machine now in action. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.
Yeah.
From printing to post-processing, Raise3D's RMS220 complete ecosystem really shows how far SLS 3D printing has come. And they're making it more accessible. To learn more about their system, head on to their website. And as always, thank you very much for watching.